I'm Jen, and today I'm going to show you another one of my favorite recipes, meatball sandwiches. Okay, but these aren't your mama's meatballs. These meatballs are made with ground turkey instead of ground beef or lamb or pork even, just because it's a healthier option for me and my family. And honest to God, you won't even be able to tell. I mean, that's just my opinion. Obviously, you can try it for yourselves, but I've served these to people and they didn't know. When I told them it was made with ground turkey, they were in disbelief. They didn't believe me, so I had to show them the package. All right, so we're gonna get this going. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to quickly make some sauce. For that, I'm just gonna chop up a shallot. Okay, so I have my shallot finely diced. I'm going to get my pot heated here, and then I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil and start sauteing this shallot while I mince up my garlic. Okay, so just a little bit of olive oil in here. I'm going to go ahead and add my shallot. And I'm going to salt with just a pinch of salt. Okay, while that starts to saute, I'm going to quickly mince up some garlic. And I'm using 3 small cloves. You can obviously adjust the garlic to your own liking, but I love garlic, so does my husband. And my little guy has no opinion on it, at least he hasn't told me anything yet. Okay, done mincing the garlic. So I'm going to go ahead and add the garlic in now. I'm going to add 1 large can of crushed tomatoes. Don't be like me and splash it all over, making a mess. I'm also adding a can of diced tomatoes. Give this a stir. Now I will check for salt after this starts to cook down a little bit, but I don't want to add any now because I salted the shallots, but the tomatoes have salt in them. And we don't want this to be overly salty. And then to this I'm going to add a heaping teaspoon of Italian seasoning. And because I really like basil, I'm going to add about a half a teaspoon of basil in addition to the Italian seasoning. I'm also going to add a heaping teaspoon of just plain white sugar. It helps with the acidity of the canned tomatoes. I almost forgot, we got to add some black pepper. How dare I? I love peppers. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and get that stirred in, and then I'm going to cover this, and I'm going to let it cook while I do our meatballs. And because I think I forgot, this is over medium heat. I can also adjust the temperature, depending on how fast or slow it's cooking. So now that we have our sauce going, I'm going to go ahead and start our meatballs and get these ready to go. I will not be cooking these in a skillet. I am going to put them on a baking sheet in the oven, and I already have my oven preheated to 350 degrees. The first thing I need to do for my meatballs is get some breadcrumbs soaking. So I just have plain breadcrumbs here. I'm going to put in 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs. And then I'm going to do 1/3 cup of heavy cream. Now you can use milk, but I prefer to use cream. There's very little fat in the turkey, and this just helps to keep everything nice and moist. Okay, so we're just going to stir this all together. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to chop up about half of this onion. It's a medium onion, not really small. Okay, so that ended up being more onion than I needed, so I'm probably just going to take a very large handful, about a half of a cup, and throw that in here. Alright. I'll push this off to the side so that I can cut the garlic, and then I will put that in a little bowl. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our garlic minced. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw this garlic in my bowl here. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and start adding the rest of our ingredients into this bowl. I'm gonna take my wedding rings off. Okay, to my onions and garlic, I am going to add an egg. Farm fresh eggs from the farmer's market. Okay, so we've added our turkey, about 1/4 of a cup of shredded Parmesan. Then I'm going to add 1/2 teaspoon each of oregano and basil. Last but not least, we're going to add our breadcrumbs that have been soaking in cream. So, my hands are clean. I removed my rings. I'm just going to go ahead and mush these together. Okay, I think I have everything mixed together. I know I'm sticking my hands right back in this to make meatballs, but I'm going to give my hands a wash. Let's go ahead and roll these meatballs out. Okay, time to wash my hands again. Okay, so I'm going to put these in the oven for about 25 minutes or so. It's poultry, so we want the internal temperature to be 175. Alright, so 25 minutes, and then I'll check on that, and let's go ahead and give our sauce a stir. Turn that down a little more. Alright, so that's everything for this minute. I am going to let these cook, let that cook, and then I will come back and see you when I start to get some more stuff together. I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, so I have my meatballs out of the oven. I checked the internal temperature. It is in fact 175. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put them in the sauce, and I'm going to let them cook for just a little while in the sauce. Okay, so I have them in the sauce. I'm going to let them cook for a little bit in there, not long, just a few minutes to start absorbing the flavor, and then it'll be time to make sandwiches. Okay, so for the sandwich part, I'm going to be using these French sandwich rolls. Already pre-cut, so we're just going to go ahead and get this opened up on our plate. And then I have ultra thin provolone. I'm not a huge fan of melty cheese, so I like the thin. And we're gonna go ahead, probably use 2 pieces per sandwich. And that could change once I start making it, we'll see. I'm just gonna rip it in half. And put it on the bottom here. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put some meatballs on this sandwich. I'm going to add the other piece of cheese on top. I'm going to spoon a little bit more sauce on this. Okay, so we have one very messy, very delicious turkey meatball sandwich. Alright guys, so that's it for this video. I hope you tried this recipe and I hope you like it as much as my family does. Sorry about the little guy. It's time to go. Thanks. Bye.